A month has passed since I showed up at Malik's door. I had blocked Damon on all social media platforms, and I removed him from the pickup list at Ari's school. Removing him from having access to Ari was easy because he wasn't even on her birth certificate. He's never carried her for medical insurance. I never put him on child support, and as far as I was concerned, Ari wasn't his child. He couldn't reach me anymore, blocked from calling, blocked from texting, but that didn't stop him. Soon, the random numbers started flashing across my screen, one after another, back to back until it felt like the phone itself was stalking me. I knew it was Damon. I could feel him on the other end of the line, even without his voice. After a frantic call to my phone company, I changed my number, but it didn't calm the unease coiled in my chest. I didn't tell Malik about the calls or about the dark Suburban that seemed to appear wherever I went. Malik was always gentle with me, patient and respectful, but something told me not everyone knew that same version of him. Living with Malik felt as natural as breathing. For the first time in a long time, I could exhale and let myself rest in the quiet peace he brought. He treated Ari and me like we were royalty, as if our comfort was the only thing that mattered to him. Groceries arrived at the door like clockwork. If he wasn't cooking, he was ordering out, making sure Ari and I never went hungry. Evenings were spent with the three of us on the couch, the TV humming in the background, or out at restaurants I'd never set foot in before. I tried to keep to myself, give him space, but Malik wouldn't have it. He wanted us in the living room with him, not shut away in bedrooms like guests passing through. One night when I put Ari to bed, I caught Malik playing poker on his laptop. "Teach me?" I asked out of nowhere. He smirked and nodded.
"New hair, who this?"
He jokes. "My hair clips will be back in tomorrow." We sat on the balcony for hours that night, drinking whiskey and playing poker. He expressed to me that he learned every card game you can think of while he was in prison.
"Man, give me the damn deck. You can't shuffle for shit."
"Who told you to teach me?" while pouring that whiskey down my throat. Malik arched a brow, a devilish smirk tugging at his lips. "Forget I said that." I grinned. "Come dance with me."
"Nope, I'd rather watch you."
I've walked past that door 100 times. It's always shut, always silent. The kind of shut that doesn't just mean I'm busy, but this is my space. Malik's home office sits at the far end of the hallway, past the guest room and across from the music room, where I've sometimes heard faint jazz bleeding out from behind the door. But the office, not a sound, not a crack in the door frame, not a single invitation to step inside. Until tonight. I don't even know why I'm standing outside it now, knuckles hovering like I might lose my nerve. I can hear him in there, faint taps of a keyboard, the soft shuffling of papers. It's nighttime. The rest of the house is dim and hushed. But there's a warm light spilling under the door. I knock.
"Come in, Jay."
I turn the handle and step inside. The first thing that hits me is the smell. Leather and cedar wood. Clean, warm, a little bit like his cologne, but deeper somehow, like it's soaked into the room over years. My eyes adjust to the soft amber light from a brass desk lamp in the corner, and then I see them. Books. Floor-to-ceiling shelves on every wall except the one behind his desk. And not just shelves. These are built-ins, Rich dark wood that makes the spines pop in every color you can imagine. Thousands of books. My brain doesn't even try to count. I take a step in, my jaw hanging open like I've walked into a cathedral. The spines are lined in neat rows, some worn and faded, others so pristine they look untouched. Leather-bound volumes sit beside slim paperbacks, and there are whole sections organized by height, others by color, some in no apparent order at all. My gaze drifted over each wall again and again, as if I might have overlooked something. Each section was marked with sleek, sophisticated plaques, neatly separating the categories. 2 entire walls were devoted solely to fiction, a sight that left me breathless with awe. My expression must have betrayed me, because when I look over at him, Malik's leaned back in his chair, arms folded, eyes watching me with open amusement.
Why does your face look like you just walked into a Chanel store?
I laughed, still scanning the room. Because anywhere there's this many books, you might as well think I'm in Chanel. That earns me a low chuckle from him, the kind that feels like it vibrates in your chest. There are so many categories, so you read everything? I asked, a small chuckle slipping out.
Everything.
He says, like it's the simplest truth in the world.
You will find a little of everything in here.
I glanced back at him. What's your favorite?
Maybe fiction, thriller.
I nod, approving. What's your favorite author? I press, leaning lightly against one of his shelves.
I can't give you just one.
He tilts his head slightly to the side. I grin, tilting my head. Come on, you can't have this many books and not name a few. He laughs, shaking his head.
At the current moment, S.A. Cosby, what's yours?
I have several, I admit, but my first love was Eric Jerome Dickey. Leek's smile shifts. Softer, almost nostalgic.
Good choice. His work is over there.
He tilts his head toward the far wall. I follow his gaze, crossing the room until I'm standing in front of a section where Dickey's novels are lined up in neat sequence. My fingertips brush some of the spines, friends and lovers, cheaters, between lovers, pleasure. The textures are different, some slick, some matte, some worn with cracked spines. I can feel him watching me. Not in a way that makes me self-conscious, but in a way that feels attentive. After a while, he says,
I've got to step out for a minute.
I turn to look at him. Okay. I start heading toward the door, figuring that's my cue to leave his space, but his hand caught my arm, holding me back.
You can stay, look over the books, pick something out to read later.
I pause, caught between surprise. He leans down and presses a kiss to my forehead, soft, almost absent-minded, but deliberate. Then he steps past me, pulling the door shut behind him. Just like that, I'm alone in Malik's office. For a moment, I just stand there, letting it sink in. This room, the one I've never been invited into, the one I've wondered about, now feels like it's holding its breath with me inside it. I don't know if he realizes what this means, but I do. It's not just about books. From getting to know Malik, I can tell he's the kind of man who keeps certain things to himself. Not because he's hiding something, but because he values privacy. His space is curated, deliberate. If he lets you in, it's because you've earned it, because you've reached a level in his mind where he wants you to see not just the surface version of him, but the layers underneath. And here I am in the middle of one of those layers. I walk slowly, scanning the titles. Classics, modern lit, philosophy, biographies. There's a whole shelf dedicated to poetry, another to history. I spot books in languages I can't read. I see sticky notes sticking out from certain pages, underlined passages, even a few old receipts being used as bookmarks. It feels intimate, like touching the inside of his mind. The sunlight that spilled through Malik's penthouse windows made everything look soft on marble, warmth against glass and shadow. Ari's laughter still echoed faintly down the hall as she played with her new toy. Malik had given it to her with such quiet ease, like giving comfort was second nature to him. I leaned against the kitchen island, watching him cook like it was a damn ritual. Eggs 3 ways, toast, bacon, avocado, even hot chocolate for Ari. No apron, just sweats and a white t-shirt that clung to his back every time he reached into the cabinet. He moved with calm, care, like the world didn't owe him anything, but he still wanted to give. "You always make this much?" I asked, voice teasing but soft. He glanced over his shoulder and smiled, slow and crooked.
"Only because it's you."
I felt heat bloom low in my stomach, spreading out like ripples, the kind that warned me I was slipping past my own guardrails. "You giving me the code to the alarm was generous," I said, more serious now. "I scheduled to go look at an apartment tomorrow since I am off." He turned off the burner.
"Why?"
"To get out of your hair? I don't need to overstay my welcome. I actually feel like I already did."
"You'll be leaving for yourself and Ari, not for me."
I gazed at him skeptically.
"I'm serious."
"I'm touring an apartment complex in Colonial Heights."
"No, the fuck you're not."
He says with conviction. "Leak."
"I don't like Colonial Heights. You're not touring it. Jay, use your head. Think about Ari."
I snapped my head back at his comment. "The rent."
"So, you want me to pay your rent to stay on this side of town when you can just stay with me?"
I shake my head. Sure, it wasn't as luxurious as this building he was living in, but it wasn't the projects.
"Fine. Find an apartment within 15 minutes of me. I'll pay the rent."
"I don't want you paying my rent."
"Fine, you want me to go half on the rent with you to make you feel better?"
He says with an attitude. "Leak."
"Jay."
He moves to the sink to wash a pot. I swallowed hard. That alarm code. It your birthday or something? Trying to change the subject. I wasn't used to the sternness in his tone. He had always been open to my thoughts, receptive and willing to listen. I could tell he wasn't trying to be cruel by shutting me down, but there was no mistaking that he wasn't interested in hearing what I had to say. He chuckled and rubbed the back of his neck.
"I need to stop giving you whiskey when we were playing poker at night. You forgot my birthday already?"
My mouth drops open, but before I can say anything.
"Nah, the code Ari's birthday. Reverse. I gave you the code because I don't need you to call me to remotely disable the house every time I'm away. You also need to let me download the app on phone so you can disable or set it yourself. You don't need to rely on me for little stuff like that."
That hit harder than it should have. "Leak, I can't stay. You can put me out any day."
"Don't fucking play with me, Jada. If you want to leave, just say that."
My legs moved before I had time to think. I walked to him slow, careful. He turned toward me, and for the first time, I didn't take a step back. Didn't shield his intensity. Just looked at me, hungry and patient at the same time. I reached up and touched his chest, fingertips brushing the soft cotton over his heartbeat. "I want you. I just don't know how much I can let you see." His hand slid onto my waist, firm but slow.
"Then take me how you need to. I'll match you."
That was it. The moment snapped. I leaned in first. Maybe he did too. I didn't care who started it. Our mouths met, slow at first. Testing, searching. But when his hand slid up the side of my neck and his thumb stroked the hinge of my jaw, something inside me broke loose. I opened for him. The kiss deepened, lips pressing, breath mingling, tongues brushing. It wasn't sweet. It was starved. My hands fisted in his shirt as his mouth claimed mine, like he'd waited too long to do it softly. We kissed like people who'd lived through war, Like we were both afraid of what would happen if we stopped. Malik pulled me closer, one arm around my waist, the other hand sliding up to cradle the back of my head. His mouth moved over mine, hungry, reverent, and rough in all the ways that made me feel wanted. I moaned into him, couldn't help it. He froze for half a second, his forehead resting against mine, breathing hard.
Jay.
I nodded, eyes closed. Don't stop. So he didn't. We kissed again, deeper this time, the kind of kiss that made my knees weaken, my chest ache. We didn't go further, not yet. But the promise was there in the way our mouths clung to each other, in the shaky breaths between kisses, in the quiet moan I didn't bother to hide. By the time we finally pulled apart, my lips were swollen, my pulse racing. Malik's hands were still on me like he couldn't let go yet. I didn't want him to. We stood there, chests heaving, mouths inches apart, the air thick with everything unsaid. Malik brushed his thumb across my bottom lip, kissed me once more. Slower this time, almost reverent, then pulled back.
It was one of those nights where the air felt heavy, like the city was holding its breath. I was stretched out on the bed, head propped against the headboard, the TV on low playing some rerun I wasn't really watching. My phone was face down on the nightstand, and I'd been staring at the ceiling off and on for the past hour, just letting my mind wander into places it probably didn't need to be. Then I heard it. Saw footsteps in the hallway. The door eased open without a knock. I turned my head, and there she was. She stood there for a second, like she was testing the room before coming in. Her hair was a little wild, her cheeks flushed in a way that wasn't just from the heat. Even from across the room, I could smell a faint trace of liquor on her. Not drunk, but tipsy enough that her movements had that slow, loose edge to them. She shut the door behind her, the latch clicking louder than it should have in the quiet. Then she walked over, no explanation, no hesitation, and climbed into the bed next to me like it was the only place she wanted to be. Her body turned to her mind. "You good?" I asked, my voice low. She hummed, this small, non-committal sound.
I dozed off earlier, had a bad dream.
I shifted my gaze to her face. "You want to talk about it?" She looked at me for a beat, her eyes shiny but unreadable. Then she said it.
It was bad. I always thought I would have to get stitches there due to childbirth. Not because of a man. It was just bad.
The words hit like a punch to the chest. My jaw locked, every muscle in my body going tense in an instant. I felt my pulse in my temples. It took everything in me not to let my face twist with the kind of rage that would scare her off. Her voice was small but steady when she went on.
I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I always say too much. Do you think I'm sick or that I have Stockholm syndrome or something? Because I stayed with him for so long. Be honest.
No, I said immediately, sharper than I intended. I forced my tone down. No, Jada, you're not sick. What he did, that was on him. His violence. Men like him are vile as fuck. Leaving an abusive situation can be very complex. It's not always black or white. She searched my eyes like she was trying to find proof I'm in it.
It wasn't always like this. Him and I wouldn't have made it if it was always this way. My first hit was after I had Ari. He said I changed, started being controlling, accusing me of cheating, lying, disappearing. Now that I look back, maybe he was always controlling, and I just ignored the red flags. I like to blame it on my frontal lobe. I met him at a young age. When drugs came into the picture, he became unbearable. Then I thought, at what point do you give up on a person that used to be your best friend, your cheerleader, your provider?
She sighs. You should get professional help, I said. Somebody trained to help you process it so it doesn't keep bleeding into your life like this. She blinked at me, surprise flickering there.
You believe in therapy?
I shrugged. My mom swears by it, says it's the reason she's still standing. Her brows drew in like she was trying to picture me in therapy in the same sentence.
I didn't think you'd be the type.
I huffed a quiet laugh with no humor in it. Why? Because I keep my shit to myself.
Because you always seem like you can handle it alone. I don't know, I guess it's just your demeanor.
I thought I could, but you can only hold so much before it starts eating through you from the inside. Her eyes hold my gaze, bare, quietly aching, with a depth that draws me in and refuses to let go. In prison, my mom found out I tried to kill myself. I say out loud. When it came to her, I fell in the same trap she did. I said too much, and I didn't give a damn. Her eyes widened.
You what?
I looked straight at her, tried to hang myself. Lockdown. I've been in the hole for a week. Didn't see a reason to keep breathing. CO found me before it was too late. She didn't speak. Her hand twitched against my stomach. When my mom found out, she was terrified. Didn't matter that there were bars between us. She still found a way to get to me. She sent this counselor, a man, friend of hers. Licensed, legit. She thought I'd open up more to someone I couldn't just brush off as not understanding me.
And did you?
At first, no. I sat there, arms crossed, staring at the wall. Didn't give him anything. But he kept showing up. Week after week. Some days we barely talked about anything real, just sports, music, the weather. But it kept me alive long enough to start thinking maybe I could make it out. And I did. She reached up then, fingers brushing my jawline like she was grounding herself. I covered her hand with mine, holding it there. That's the thing about pain. It convinces you there's no way forward. But there is. You just have to stay long enough to see it. Her lip trembled.
I know therapy works. I've seen it. But still, I can't shake the feeling that it'll break me down before it builds me back up. Knowing it and feeling ready for it are two different things. Honestly, I'm terrified I'll never come out the other side the same.
You won't, I told her. You're not supposed to be the same. That's the point. Different doesn't mean broken. It means you're building yourself back up into something new. Yeah, the process may be painful, but the results should be worth it. We stayed like that, eyes locked, the silence stretching, but not uncomfortable. The air between us was heavy but warm, full of things we didn't have to put into words. Finally, she shifted closer, pressing her forehead against mine.
You've been through a lot.
Yeah, so have you. Her breath was soft against my lips, and for a second, I thought she might cry, but she didn't. She just stayed there close, like my presence alone was enough to keep her steady.
Have you ever thought about it?
She asked.
Doing it again?
Nope, I admitted. I was extremely low when I did that. I'm not in that space anymore. She nodded. We lay there in the dark, flat on our backs, staring at the ceiling like it might give us some kind of truth. The silence stretched until Jada's voice cut through it, soft but sharp enough to stick.
My ex ain't touched me intimately in over a year. The first few months it ate at me, made me wonder if I wasn't enough, if something was wrong with me. But then I got used to it. Deep down, I knew he was out there with other women. My gut told me, and the text in his phone confirmed it.
She paused.
After a while, I stopped looking at it like rejection. I started seeing it as God's protection, like he was shielding me from something worse.
I didn't speak right away. Just listen, let her truth hang between us in the dark. It made my chest tight, hearing the way she carried it, like it was normal, like she had to thank God for being spared instead of being loved right. You're right, I said, voice low and certain. That was God protecting you. And in my head, I added what I didn't say out loud, protecting you until I got here. We talked about nothing for a while after that. Little things to break the heaviness. She told me about a song she'd been stuck on. I told her I'm reading The Reformatory. That opened up a can of worms, and we talked about novels we both devoured in the last year. By the time her voice faded, she was lying against me, head on my chest, breathing slow. My arm was around her, fingers in her hair.
Don't let go yet.
I'm not going anywhere, I said, and I meant it.
The moment Malik's voice floated down the hallway, I knew something was up.
Jay, Ari, get ready, we're going out.
That was all he said before the door clicked shut, leaving me standing in the middle of my bedroom in nothing but a t-shirt. My heart starting to race with curiosity and something warmer I didn't want to name yet. Where are we going? I called after him.
Nope, it's a surprise.
Typical Malik, playing the mystery card. I rolled my eyes but smiled anyway. Ari, who had been sprawled on my bed playing with her tablet, sat up immediately, a grin splitting her face. Ooh, a surprise, she said, bouncing up and down. I pulled the shirt over my head and grabbed my sundress from the chair by the window. I wasn't entirely sure what to expect, but knowing Malik, it was going to be something good. Downstairs, Malik was already loading things into the trunk, cool and calm as ever, that easy grin on his face making my stomach flip again.
My girls got everything they need?
He asked, sliding into the driver's seat before I could answer. I guess, I said, buckling Ari in the back. Do we need to bring anything in particular?
No.
The car pulled out into the morning light, and I glanced at Malik as he drove. The sunlight caught the edges of his jaw, the calm in his eyes as he drove. He was relaxed today, talking to me nonstop. Ari jabbered nonstop from the back seat, buzzing with excitement, and I found myself smiling more than I had in days. The city started to fall away behind us, replaced by stretches of green and blue sky, until we pulled into a parking lot full of families, laughter, and the unmistakable smell of chlorine and sunscreen. Water park. My heart skipped. Malik parked, grabbed his keys, and ushered us through the prepaid express line. He then guided us toward a gift shop and pulled out a wad of cash.
Go pick out y'all swimsuits and get me some trunks.
He said, his eyes flicking to me. I raised an eyebrow, cheeks warming at the thoughtfulness. We wandered through racks of bikinis and trunks, Malik teasing Ari about picking out the coolest swim shorts while I examined a few suits, fingers brushing the fabric thoughtfully. Finally ready, we stepped into the sun-drenched world of slides, pools, and squeals. The wave pool was our first stop. Ari squealed and jumped at every crashing swell, and Malik caught her when she stumbled, his arm firm but gentle around her waist. Watching him with her like that, I felt a rush of something fierce and tender, a protective warmth that made my chest ache. I let myself float in the water, eyes closed, feeling the sun on my skin, the sound of children laughing ringing in my ears. For a moment, I thought about Damon, how we'd never taken Ari anywhere like this together. I never had this kind of fun or peace with him since Ari was born. I shook my head and opened my eyes to see Malik grinning at me from across the pool, water dripping from his locks, and something in that smile made me want to lean into whatever this was between us. We moved on to the slides, Ari daring Malik to go first, her voice ringing with pure joy. Malik teased me mercilessly, whispering,
"Don't be scared, Jay."
And when I shot back a glare, he just laughed, that deep, rolling laugh I loved. Lunch was a messy, noisy affair under a big umbrella. We ate burgers and fries, Ari smearing ketchup on her chin, Malik stealing fries from my plate and sliding his hand over mine across the table. I caught the heat of his gaze and held it just a moment longer than necessary. In the lazy river, Malik's hand brushed mine as we floated side by side, and I felt the spark again, slow and steady, beneath the ease of the day. As the sun dipped lower, I felt tired but full, full of laughter, light, and something fragile growing in my chest. On the drive home, Ari fell asleep, her little chest rising and falling in peaceful rhythm. Malik reached over and gently took my hand, his fingers intertwining with mine, and the quiet between us spoke volumes. Later, once Ari was tucked in bed and the house was still, Malik pulled me close, his voice low and steady.
You were beautiful today.
I leaned into him, heart pounding. Thank you for this. My heart feels so full, I whispered. His lips brushed my temple. I eased out of his arms. I'm going to shower, I tell him. Malik's eyes follow me, intense and unwavering. He nodded once, letting me go, and I felt his gaze linger as I walked to the guest room and quietly closed the door behind me. The hallway was quiet, thick with shadows, heavy with anticipation. The glow spilling from Malik's bedroom was dim, golden, like it was daring me to come closer, daring me to step out of who I had been and walk straight into who I wanted to become. Laid across the bed, bare-chested, one arm folded behind his head, abs tight and cut in the soft TV light. He didn't flinch when he saw me, didn't speak. Just let his eyes drag over me like they had all the time in the world. And maybe they did. I slipped inside, closed the door behind me with a soft click that felt heavier than a slam. Final. Certain. His gaze didn't drop, not once. It was heat and hunger and quiet, controlled chaos. And I stepped right into it. No shame, no hesitation. I gripped the hem of his oversized hoodie, the one that smelled like him, dark soap, wood smoke, leather. Then I peeled it off. No bra, no panties, just bare skin and slow breath. My nipples stiffened in the cool air, the soft flicker of the screen making shadows dance across my body. He watched every inch like he was memorizing it, jaw clenched, chest rising. Still didn't say a word. I climbed onto the bed and straddled him, skin to skin, my pussy brushing against the bulge in his sweatpants, thick, solid, twitching with every pulse between my thighs. I don't want to talk. I just want to feel you. That snapped whatever restraint he had left. His hands gripped my ass, tight, possessive, hungry. He yanked me down against him, grinding slow, making me moan from just the friction.
You ready?
His voice was thick, low, already strained. I kissed him, lips open and wet, tongue pushing deep. I've been ready. He flipped me. Fast. 1 second, I was on top. The next, I was flat on my back with his mouth everywhere, my neck, my collarbone. My nipples stiff and aching under the stroke of his tongue, then lower. He dragged his tongue down my stomach, slow teasing, until his face was between my thighs. He didn't ask, just spread me open and dove in like he'd been starving. His tongue was greedy, circling, flicking, then flattening hard against my clit. He sucked just right, and I gasped, hips lifting off the bed. He slid 2 fingers inside, curling them just right while his tongue stayed locked on my clit. I was close. So close. I was contracting around his fingers. He felt the shift inside of me and removed his fingers swiftly.
Not yet, Jay.
He moved back up, kissed me with my taste still on his tongue, then reached down and shoved his sweatpants off. And fuck, his dick was thick, long-veined, and heavy in his hand as he stroked it once, twice, then dragged the head along my slit. Slick, swollen, soaked.
You feel that? You just wet for me, Jada.
Yes, I need it. He pushed in, slow but deep. The stretch burned in the best way, every inch making me moan, nails digging into his shoulders as I wrapped my legs around him. Malik filled me all the way bottomed out and held there, breathing hard against my neck.
Jay.
He whispers, "I'm yours, Malik," I gasped. Then he moved, slow at first, then rough. Deep, punishing thrusts that knocked the breath out of me. He held my wrists down beside my head, eyes locked on mine as he fucked me like he was trying to rebuild me from the inside out.
Ain't nobody ever gonna touch you like this again.
I took everything he gave, moaning, gasping, clawing at the sheets when it got too intense. No matter how intense it felt, I met his thrust and fucked him back. It wasn't just sex, it was war. It was healing. It was fucking freedom. He flipped me over and yanked my hips up, ass in the air, face pressed into the pillow. When he slammed back inside, deeper than before, I nearly screamed. It was in this moment I realized when he had me on my back, he was going easy on me. Now the strokes were brutal. Perfect. And when he reached around and rubbed my clit in tight circles, I jerked hard. Leak? Shit.
I know, Jay. Let go for me.
I buried my face deeper in the pillow and let go. I came hard, pussy pulsing around his dick, soaking him with everything I had. That broke him. He groaned deep, pulled out with a shudder, and came hot all over both of my ass cheeks, warm and messy. We stayed there, both of us panting, dazed, broken wide open, and remade all at once. He reached over and took off one of his pillowcases. He wiped me up with slow, gentle strokes and threw the pillowcase to the floor. He then positioned himself beside me and pulled me into his arms. Our skin was slick, breath uneven. Neither of us spoke. Didn't need to. The fire was lit now, and there was no putting it out.
She was already awake. I could feel it. The rhythm of her breath had changed, shallower, tighter. The kind of inhale that said she was aware of every inch of her body, especially the way mine was pressed behind it. Her hips shifted, just enough to press her ass against me. Bare, warm, soft. That tiny movement made me twitch to life, thickening against the crease of her body. She wasn't pulling away. She was pulling me in. Sunlight slid through the curtains, cutting across her skin like gold. My hand was still resting low on her stomach, just under the swell of her navel, my fingertips grazing the top of her mound. I didn't move at first, just let myself feel her, soak her in. Her scent still clung to the sheets. Her fingers reached back, slow, trailing across my thigh. That was all it took. I shifted closer, sliding my palm down to cup her pussy from behind, warm and swollen, already slick. I kissed her shoulder, slow and open-mouthed, tasting sleep and sex and salt. I licked up the curve of her neck and let my teeth scrape her earlobe. She sighed, soft and needy, and finally rolled over to face me. Her eyes were heavy-lidded, lips already parted. I brushed a coil of hair away from her face and kissed her, slow and deep, the kind of kiss that says I'm still inside you even when I'm not. Morning breath and all, it was as if we were drunk off of each other. Her hand slid across my chest, fingers trailing down my abs, then lower. When she wrapped them around me, I was already hard and pulsing. I groaned against her lips. Still, we didn't speak. I pulled the sheets back and kissed her collarbone slow, then lower. Her breasts were soft and heavy in my hands, nipples already tight as I sucked one into my mouth and tugged it gently with my teeth. She arched into me, breath catching, thighs rubbing together beneath the sheets. I kissed lower, down her stomach, over the faint line where her abs tensed with every gasp. She glanced down at me. I didn't say a word, but she knew. I kissed the inside of her thigh, right where the skin was softest. She opened for me without hesitation, legs falling apart like they were made to. Her pussy was already dripping, lips glistening, clit peeking out swollen and needy. I licked her once, slow and flat, from bottom to top. She gasped, sharp and involuntary. I did it again, then again, slow, deep, letting my tongue drag through every fold until her hips bucked off the bed. I sucked her clit, soft at first, then harder. Her Her legs jerked. She whimpered, trying to stay quiet, but I felt it in her whole body, that tremble, that unraveling. I slipped 2 fingers inside her, curling them just right, knuckles deep. Her walls clamped down around me and her mouth dropped open, head thrown back against the pillow. She was already close, already there. I didn't let up. I circled her clit with my tongue while I fucked her slow with my fingers, letting the sounds of her body, the wetness, the moans, the way she whispered my name, pull me deeper into her. She came hard, back arching, thighs shaking, eyes clenched shut as her pussy pulsed around my fingers, dripping down my hand. I didn't stop, just slowed down, eased her through it while she begged into the air between us. Only when her hips relaxed back into the mattress, twitching and limp, did I crawl back up her body and wrap her in my arms. Still, no words. She curled into me, warm and damp, her face resting against my chest, one leg hooked over mine. Her fingers traced lazy circles across my ribs while I kissed the top of her head. Her heartbeat slowed. Mine did too. There was nothing to say. Everything was already spoken. In the way she opened for me, in the way I touched her like prayer. Burning, she scorched me to the core and no part of me survived untouched. I'll never be the same.
It's been 3 mornings since Malik and I last shared a bed, and I'm craving him like an addict. I've been riding the high of being with him, and I'm not ready to come down. The past 3 days have been a blur, back-to-back 12-hour shifts for me while he's been out of town on business in a neighboring state. We've been texting nonstop little check-ins during the day, phone calls every night. Last night he told me he'll be on his way back in the morning, and luckily I'm off for the next 3 days. It's going to take every ounce of restraint to not jump on him the second he walks through that door. I had just dropped Ari off at school, the morning traffic still buzzing in my head, when I pushed through the glass doors of the penthouse lobby. As I am walking, I glance over to my right and see a woman talking to one of our doormen, Tony. She was beautiful, the type of woman you notice before you want to. Skin flawless, hair laid to perfection, outfit screaming money and confidence. And her voice, sharp, echoing off the marble walls.
I said, I need to see Malik.
She snapped, loud enough for everyone to stop pretending they weren't listening. The doorman shifted in his suit, his face tight but polite.
Ma'am, he isn't available right now.
I don't care if he's available or not.
She cut him off, stepping forward. I froze mid-step, the keycard still in my hand. My heart did this little jump, confusion mixing with a sting I couldn't name. Then the elevator door slid open. Malik. His energy hit the room before his footsteps did. His shoulders stiff, jaw locked, but his voice when he spoke, low, controlled. He didn't raise it once, but his whole presence told you he wasn't playing. He walked right up to her, close enough where I could see her body soften, just a little. They exchanged words, too quiet for me to catch. But whatever he said, it made her back down. 2 minutes later, she spun on those high heels and stormed out. And then his eyes caught mine. I hated the way my stomach flipped. I hated the way my chest burned like I'd been caught watching something I wasn't supposed to see. I didn't give him a chance to say a word. I went straight to the elevator, pretending I was made of stone. By the time I reached the penthouse, my chest was tight. My high from earlier was most definitely gone. I didn't even stop in the kitchen, just went straight for the guest room, closed the door, and leaned against it like I was trying to keep something out or maybe in. A few minutes later, a light knock broke the silence.
Jay.
His voice came softer through the wood. I didn't respond. I just sat there, silent, sunk into one of the chairs as the door creaked open and he stepped in slowly. His eyes lock onto mine, steady and unreadable. For a moment, he says nothing, the silence stretching just long enough to stir something uncertain in my chest. Then, finally, his voice cuts through the quiet.
Come out with me. Let's get breakfast.
I swallowed, forcing calm into my voice. I'm not feeling well this morning. I'm going to lie down and see if that helps. The silence thickened heavy with everything neither of us was saying. He didn't look away, just kept staring, eyes searching mine like he was trying to pull the truth straight from my soul. Was I okay? Was I lying? He didn't ask, but the question hung there, unspoken and loud. After a long beat, he nodded, slow, reluctant.
I'll be back.
He said, his voice low, almost gentle.
Text me if you need anything. Feel better.
He lingered for a second, like he wasn't sure if he should stay. Then, finally, the door eased shut behind him, quiet but final. And I was alone with the weight of everything I didn't say. I crawled into bed, grabbed the remote, and turned on Netflix. I clicked on the first movie I saw. I wasn't really interested in watching a movie. I just needed to hear some type background noise. Hours passed like that. Me half watching, half thinking. The truth dug at me. Maybe I was in his way. I never asked him if there was someone else. I just showed up broken with Ari, and he opened the door without hesitation. He's carried us, fed us, protected us. But what if I'm standing in the middle of something he already had? How could I have been so naive? I never asked him about his love life. I just assumed that his silence meant there was no one else. But men don't work like that. Silence doesn't always mean there's a lack of a female presence. Now there's this hollow, aching space in my chest that I can't explain. And when I saw him walking toward her, saw the way her posture softened the moment their eyes met, it was like something inside me caught fire. I should have never slept with him. I should have never crossed that line. Not when I'm still clawing my way out of a relationship myself. I knew better. But knowing better doesn't always stop you from wanting what you shouldn't have. I wasn't about to question him. Not after everything he's done for me. I wasn't his girlfriend. I had no right to demand answers. Just because we slept together didn't mean I could start acting possessive or clingy. I reminded myself of that, even as something in me quietly wished the lines between us were clearer. Around noon, my phone lit up with his text. How are you feeling? Let's try that new Mediterranean spot for lunch. I stared at the screen until it dimmed. Didn't even type a word back. By 2:30, I was in the car picking Ari up from school. We went out for an early dinner, just the two of us. I laughed when she laughed, ordered her favorite fries, let her dip them in ketchup until her fingers were red. We came back full, satisfied, and I rushed her into the shower, into her pajamas. By 7:30, she was knocked out. The penthouse was quiet when I laid down. Too quiet. At 8, the sound of Malik's footsteps echoed down the hall. They stopped outside my closed door. He lingered there, the weight of him pressing against the silence. I held my breath, waiting for the knock, waiting for the moment he'd push his way in and force the air clear between us. But he didn't. After a long pause, he walked away, and I laid there in the dark, the realization I didn't want to face curling up beside me like a shadow. I need to prepare myself to leave soon. The next morning, I slid back into my regular routine when I'm off from work, dropped Ari at school, came straight to the penthouse with the plans to do laundry. Nothing out of the ordinary, except the knot still sitting heavy in my chest from yesterday. As soon as I stepped through the door, Malik was there, leaning against the kitchen island like he'd been waiting for me.
Come here.
Not asked, told. I wanted to keep my distance, but my body betrayed me. I crossed the room anyway, still carrying the sting of jealousy I hadn't shaken. Food was waiting on the counter, fruit, eggs, toast, but I wouldn't be tasting a thing. I'm not hungry, I said quietly, polite but distant. His eyes narrowed, sharp and knowing.
Still not feeling well?
He asked. I didn't answer at first, just stared at him, daring him to read me. Finally, I shook my head. No, he didn't argue. He just stepped around the counter, closing the space between us. His hands gripped my waist, lifting me onto the cool surface of the island like I weighed nothing. Then he bent and pressed his mouth to mine. Gentle at first, searching, I didn't push him away, but I didn't give in either. My lips stayed still. When he pulled back, his frown was subtle but sharp. Before I could blink, his hand, firm but gentle, was pressing against my chest until my back was flat against the counter. The cool surface beneath me contrasted with the heat rushing through my body, and for a moment I just lay there, caught between the steadiness of his touch and the storm building inside me.
Why are you upset?
I'm not. He studied me like he could peel the truth right off my skin. His hands moved with a patience as he reached under my dress, lifted my hips, and slid my panties off in one swift movement. His gaze showed he was determined to drag honesty out of me one way or another. I squirmed under his touch, heat crawling up my body, but his grip stilled me.
Don't lie to me, Jada.
He murmured, voice threaded with warning and desire.
Don't ignore me.
My heart was racing, every nerve alive with anticipation. He wanted answers. And I wanted to stop fighting him, even if I couldn't bring myself to admit it out loud. My eyes stayed closed, but every nerve in me tracked Malik's movements. I heard the faint scrape of his hand brushing against a plate on the counter, the quiet clink of something shifting. A few seconds later, his voice cut through the silence, low, commanding.
Breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth, Jay.
I obeyed, slow and steady, letting the air move through me the way he wanted. That's when I felt his fingers sliding inside me, carrying with them something cool, unfamiliar. A sharp gasp tore from my throat, my body jolting against his touch before I could stop myself.
Relax, Jay.
Malik murmured, his voice rough silk against my skin.
Don't push my mango out. Not yet.
I let go. Whatever fight I thought I had left slipped right out of me the moment his fingers pressed deeper. Each slow push carried a new burst of coolness, the chill fruit shocking my body, while the warmth of his touch steadied me, anchored me. I focused on my breathing the way he told me, slow inhale through my nose, steady exhale through my mouth. The rhythm of his fingers as he pushes in and out of me kept me from unraveling too fast, kept me grounded even as wave after wave of sensation pulled me under. Malik slid his fingers out of me slowly, and my body betrayed me, shivering with need as his mouth replaced it. His lips traced slow, deliberate paths along the inside of my thighs, each kiss like fire licking my skin. I couldn't think straight. All I could do was feel him marking my skin.
Never in a million years did I think I would ever crave eating pussy until I had yours. It's all I thought about since you let me taste you.
I feel his tongue continue to tease my right inner thigh.
Do you know how much of a hold you have on me?
His voice was low, rough, and threaded with something dangerous. I shook my head, breath catching, my pulse hammering like a drum in my ears.
Answer me.
He demanded, lips brushing me, teasing, asserting like he was leaving no room for anything else. No, I whispered, trembling, my voice barely audible. His gaze locked on mine for a fraction of a second before returning to my legs.
You can't tell. You have no reason to be jealous when you consume me the way you do.
I swallowed hard. He could tell I was jealous. I wanted to be angry, that he saw through me, that he saw I was undone. But the truth was, he had me completely. My body quivered, my stomach tightening, every nerve raw with the heat of him. And then he spoke again, slow, deliberate, like savoring every word.
I fucked her on and off for years. I haven't touched her, haven't even spoken to her since you showed up at my door. It's like she never existed. She couldn't wrap her mind around how I could just cut her off, go cold on her.
A sting of jealousy shot through me, sharp and sudden, but it was swallowed instantly by heat, by the magnetic pull of him. I could feel the tension coiling me, desire twisting through every fiber of my body, making me ache to be taken further, deeper.
She never had access to me the way you do.
Malik's lips and tongue continued their relentless path of kissing and licking me from my ankles to the top of my thighs, reading me like an open book. Every flick, every kiss drove me closer to the edge, his words embedding in my mind. burning into me.
You know, mango is my favorite fruit, and I put a good amount inside you. We'll be here for a good minute so I can make sure I get everything out. Now I want my favorite person to feed me my favorite fruit. Okay?
I nodded, my body trembling with want and anticipation. He went lower, and the instant his mouth met my entrance, I moaned out softly, jerking into him. The sensation of him sucking a small chunk of mango from inside me was electric, unbearable, deliciously invasive. Every nerve ending screamed for him, for the control he wielded with ease, for the way he made me feel both possessed and worshipped at once.
Coming up on part 6.
It's been a minute since we had this type of meetup. I never questioned you before, Leak. But are you sure?
Jada, you not gonna say hi?
What are you doing here?
Nigga, all that expensive shit don't hide what you are. The devil in high-end clothes. She'll leave you when she sees the truth. You and me, same blood, same temper.